Alright guys, I did a lot of like nitpicky work this week. I kind of like real work was really busy and crazy and insane, and I didn't really have a lot of time to come home and really devote a bunch of time to it, but there's a lot of, you know, just kind of little ins and outs that I kind of got taken care of throughout the week. One thing you may notice is, well, actually first let's zoom out here. I went ahead and got rid of the parking lot. Looked kind of crappy. It was just kind of like a bootleg version of my old water parks parking lot. So demolished that. I don't think it didn't really help with the story or anything, and it was just kind of like almost wasting piece count almost. So what I did, I actually haven't even built the entrance area out here yet. You know, the ticket booths or anything. But if you're slightly new to the channel, we did get the front little entrance area totally revamped. Like, it did not look anything like this a month ago. And now we've got shopping, and you know, we just got I kind of let some people in. We've got the like down here. This used to actually be the hippo enclosure, but I brought in some TMTK koi fish to kind of swim around in this little pond now. I think looks really, really cool. And yeah, just like I said, brought in a bunch of shopping, brought in the big lion statue here, really good kind of like photo op area, restaurants and gift shops and just all kinds of little apparel type of buildings you can kind of dive off in, coffee shops, croissant sandwiches. I love me a good what is that croissant place right inside Islands of Adventure? Is it Moon Crescent or Crescent Moon Croissant? Something like that. But I love stopping in there early in the morning when I'm down in Orlando at the parks and getting one of those like massive egg and cheese croissant sandwiches. I don't even put bacon or sausage or anything. Just straight egg and cheese, and you can sit there on the little chairs with kind of Hulk peeking off like over the top of the you know, kind of like in your foreground there. Really, really good breakfast spot, and I figured that one of these buildings could be like a really neat breakfast type of croissant shop. Really, really lowered down the Jamba house here. Like this area is like the big welcome information center. Put these wooden beams up on it. I think really kind of give it a little flair, give it a little more character. I've totally removed the little strip mall that was over here, and we've relocated the stage over here. I think it looks a lot better. It you know, it ties in really, really well with the whole other backstage area. I've got a couple trees I got to get rid of, but you could figure like this would be a neat little service road. You know, delivery trucks, Cisco trucks delivering food, stuff like that. And just the whole backstage area over there, I think worked out really, really cool and just better over there. And it was replaced with Woody's aviary. I brought it over from the North American area, and when we get over there, I'll show you. Kind of like, I'm thinking the grizzly bear exhibit is kind of going to take over what was the aviary's spot. But I think it looks really good. Kind of even when you come into the park over here, you can kind of see it. Like, okay, if we're here at ground level, we're kind of making our way over here. So you can kind of see it poking out of the top of the building over there. Thought that was really, really cool. My fences and bridges and stuff are a mess, but I just think from up above, maybe in Tegid Cam it wouldn't look too good, but I look at it mostly from up here. I think it looks pretty cool. I kind of this right here was also another part of the hippo exhibit, but went ahead and decided that I think it would just be cooler to have this like lower leveled you know, just seating area with I brought in 90s age-old, timeless benches and umbrellas that kind of get me out of a lot of tight spots when I can't actually make it work on the actual path like you have to do with the in-game ones. But yeah, so all of this area here, like I said, you'll have to go back a few videos. This might be the 4th video where this new kind of entrance area has kind of been introduced. We've got the lady over here, she's kind of doing a little bird show with the toucans. A little Frontier Expo guy here. But yeah, so we've, like I said, we've come a long way since last August. And so what else do we need to show? I told myself earlier, I was thinking of this at work. I said, you know, we need to kind of slow down and just do a really kind of detailed look into some of the areas of the park, because I'm always so quick just to show you kind of, you know, what's been built recently, and then we kind of don't look over anything else. So yeah, we'll just kind of take our time here and just kind of show you kind of what's going on. If we zoom around over here, really the first big main exhibit, like we mentioned, used to be the hippo exhibit, but now it's Croc Cove. So that is kind of like really get you pumped up and started like right when you get to the zoo. Come check on the crocodiles. And yeah, so this is kind of like, I've tried to give them plenty of water, but also plenty of like basking areas. And you know, the guests can kind of basically the whole exhibit, you are above them, kind of looking down on them. We've got the little food truck over here, and like I mentioned before, they've got a pretty large exhibit. See, even over here on this side, their exhibit expands all the way around, kind of like this half bow here. And you can watch them swim from this side, bask over here. This area over here, you can get a good look at them. You can even actually see them underwater from like the information area over here. But this is also where, see, I've kind of almost have this makeshift gate. I kind of figured they could close this if they had to quarantine off any of the gators, whether it be sickness or veterinary care or you know, the females laying eggs. I figure there's all kinds of different scenarios where you may want to have to separate them, and I figured this would be a good spot to kind of close the area off, kind of to the you know, to the main lagoon if we had to. So yeah, that is Croc Cove. And over here, we delve into the theme park side a little bit. Got a little junior coaster in over here. And I think after this, we'll peel back over to the other side, and we'll kind of make our way back around over here. But what we need to do is probably get these people some more shade for the station area. They all love this little ride. It's just a crappy little junior coaster that I put together a couple months ago. And if you remember, too, I was one of those things where I lost my first design here. I had a really, really cool little junior coaster going, and the theming was just so on point. And it was one of those situations where I accidentally told Steam the wrong thing. I told it to upload the park files to the cloud instead of downloading them to my machine. And I lost like 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours you know, worth of build time. I was pretty distraught about that because I had that thing looking exactly how I wanted it, but it was just it was not meant to be. So anyways, moving on. If you make your way over here, I've got a rip-off of Disney's Hollywood Studios Oasis Canteen. So you can grab your drinks or your little funnel cakes right there. And making your way, kind of peeling off this way, is you can make your way into the like the Sky Station on this side, and you can ride the elevator up or take the stairs. And yeah, we can basically you can jump in. I kind of used part of Wowman's station model here, and you can board the cable cars. And I ripped off one of the Koali Beach's restaurants. I thought just kind of fit perfect with the whole theme of the zoo. And if you'll look out through there, see how it takes you all the way over to the, we got some tree clipping there. The Sky Bridge here kind of takes you all the way over there to that other kind of like the my version of the Hyperion hangar, and get you all the way over to the other side of the park where you can kind of reach the American side easier, come down to the safari side, and we'll have roads and, you know, all that stuff over there eventually. But that can definitely get you over to the park a little quicker than walking. And then if you do not take your way to the Skyway Bridge, and of course once you like see this building, you can make your way and get on the elevators to take you up to the concourse level, but you can also just walk through the building and make your way over here into the East Asian area, as you can see, like where the tigers are at, and you know, we don't actually have an animal in this enclosure, but that is kind of what we'll look at in a sec, is the whole East Asian, you know, that type of area. And then, like I said, you can peel off to the left here and make your way to the stage show, or you can make your way to the reptiles house. Either way, all of this kind of, right now it kind of dead ends over here. That was going to be like a staff employee parking type area, but for right now, it just kind of dead ends in this spot right here with the reptile house. And my little guys down here, they're kind of filming a little bit of a dangerous show with the Viper there. But yeah, so I figured they could have like a big, this could be the, you know, it's kind of like all implied, the reptile house. We've got the you know, the snakes, they let them kind of come out here into this little area so they can get some natural sunlight and stuff during the day, and then they kind of take them back inside. But all of this is like a, you know, a giant, kind of like implied build, you know, with the iguanas and the snakes and all that stuff. So that is the big reptile house over there. And like we mentioned, kind of peeling off this way is the whole East Asian area. So we've got our tigers down here. I thought about at one point kind of making that wall over there glass so you could really get down in here and see them good. May end up doing that. I mean, you can see them from up here from like the little walkway, but I think that would be cool to kind of have a, you know, down there like on the bottom level, some way for them to get down there where you could actually see the tigers right there at eye level. And this is kind of like a little Tibet type of, you know, just East Asia type facades here. I've got like the old rusty Coca-Cola sign, the mercantile sign. We've got the old truck out here, and I just thought that really just kind of put off a cool little end cap, little vibe to this whole area. We've got the little Thai restaurant here, right here on the end, kind of like a little sit-down restaurant. And then this over here has actually never housed anything except for when this used to be the part of the shark exhibit over here. So I don't know, my TMTK modelers, they're not really big on the animals anymore. Daddy Poe is still kind of helping me out a little bit, but everybody else has kind of started moving on to other things, especially once Planet Zoo got announced. The focus, we all kind of let the Planet Safari Zoo stuff die. The Azuri Gardens stuff is still going on though, with Mast and Jaunty, so that is pretty cool that they still have that going on. But as far as the new models go, I haven't seen any new animals in a while, so I don't know if we'll ever get any animals in there. But as far as they did their part getting this park as far as they did get it, and now it's like, you know, it's pretty complete for the most part. I mean, sure, we could add some different animals and such, but for the most part, it's fine. I think they tremendously helped me out, especially Miss Red Nebula, Daddy Poe, Deadeye Duck was a major factor in keeping this project going. So yeah, I am forever grateful for those guys for letting us continue, kind of like this little dream of mine in Planet Coaster, is to get, you know, to essentially realize and build this safari park. So I definitely cannot thank them enough. When you round your way past the Koali Beach restaurant, this is where you can sign up for your safari tours. This is one of the things that I think is the absolute coolest things that I did. Was I took the old Jungle Cruise loading building, the station, from the Disney World build, and I built some safari trucks, and we've got these elevated loaded platforms here. And I just love how all that come out. And yeah, so you can, like, you make your way down these stairs and they load you up on your trucks. And we've got some spare trucks out here, and you kind of make your way underneath this bridge, and we've got the chains kind of underneath there, just so because, you know, there are giraffes, zebra, rhinos, you know, they're everything. We don't want them kind of making their way into the kind of the loading area. So we've got the chains up. But yeah, the trucks, basically, they make their way out of the loading area and they peel off right. And you can see we've kind of told that with this truck kind of making its way over here. This whole area is is kind of like the veterinary area, the backstage, the Savanna area, the care area for all the animals. And we've got, you know, we've got the trucks out here, you know, if we have to sedating the animals, load them up, bring them back. You know, we bring them in here for the checkups and all that. So that was, I think, pretty neat. This is kind of like the implied, you know, worker tunnel, veterinary tunnel, maintenance tunnel over here. That they access all this from. Over here by the water, I've got like another little work truck area. I thought it'd be cool to, like, if you're on the train here, you kind of get a little bit of a behind the scenes look of some of the buildings and the, and you know, just kind of all what goes on back there. And then of course the truck makes their way across this first bridge right here, and then they make their way essentially out into the savannah. We've got the giraffes kind of hanging out over here. The trucks kind of splash you down into the water, and then they make their way up to the rhinos section. Over here, this is kind of like the maintenance area for the trains, and even I've still got the Jungle Cruise sign right here because I was kind of experimenting on looking at seeing how I could make the station look kind of you know, over here with the train. And I think the rhinos, they can actually get out into the rest of the area. I figured, but we kind of make them, like, we put their food and kind of entice them with food over in this area so the safari trucks can get a good look at them. You know, I figured the driver would stop right here and talk about them and educate the guests about them and let them see them kind of closer right there. And then, of course, they come out through here and they make a big circle. And yeah, they kind of, like, over here is our little zebra, little herd over here. And they make their way back through here and then back down into the station area. So I figured it'd be a pretty good ride. I think it'd take them about 15 minutes to get around the whole thing, as far as stopping and looking at the different animals and all that. And so yeah, that is the safari park, the safari ride section. And then up here, this is what I've always dubbed as kind of like the cliffside market. Really, really happy with how this come out. The guests can kind of look over the whole, you know, savannah up here. They've got, you know, just like the entrance area, they've got little restaurants and little shops, and some of them are implied shops. They can't actually go up in them, which I think's really cool. Like, you know, you kind of, like, the guests kind of walk through here and just wonder, like, is that an adventurer's kind of hideout up there? Or is that, you know, some explorer's apartment? You know, I think that's really, really cool how this whole area kind of just fit really, really neat up here on this cliff. When you make your way through here, this is like a little kids sliding area. They can kind of make their way up the steps and around over here and kind of like just go on a little adventure up here and slide down these slides. Down here to the soft mats, got plenty of seating for the parents to kind of sit there and wait. And then, of course, we've got this area's signature restaurant, Mwanga's. This is like the whole Cliffside Market's African restaurant here. So you can stop right there and get make your reservations with the guy. And so yeah, that is kind of like the whole Cliffside Market. I thought that came out really, really cool. Love this bridge right here that you have to kind of make your way by the elephants to get back there to that area. That's the one thing about this park I think is I'm really, really proud of, is there's so much stuff to do. There is really not a lot of dead space. Everywhere you turn, there's a shop or an exhibit, animal, restaurant, some kind of ride. There's always something to kind of be looking at. So I think that was pretty neat. Over here is the big elephant enclosure. Really, really cool how that come out. This is Dead-Eye Ducks Elephants. We've got their lagoon and waterfall. We've got their land area up here. We've got kind of like their housing area that we can, do the veterinary care. They can go in at night. We actually even have their own, the elephants have their own kind of area and kind of maintenance building over here, if you will. I figured it'd be very, very expensive, a lot of work to care for this many elephants. So that is kind of what that whole building, whole experience is back there. And even from the Egyptian side, you can actually go in and you can get a behind the scenes tour of the elephants, kind of like the elephant maintenance area and their requirements and their care area. So once you make your way through the little tunnel here kind of past the East Asian area, that is kind of when you make your way over here into the Egyptian, kind of like the African area. We've got the camels here, kind of like, I think this would be like a temporary little enclosure. We like bring them out on certain days so people can kind of see them and get up close with them. And then you make your way over here into little Cairo. So another little area that's kind of, see, I've kind of themed it to be, really dry type of arid. Even the theming colors on the buildings, really kind of brown, tans, really just desert, arid type of vibe over here. And we've got a little kid's splash pad because, like I said, really, really hot over here. We've got Egyptian, African themed, bathrooms and different little shops. We have a smaller aviary over here. I thought was really, really cool. They do a few shows throughout the day, and then of course it's open for walkthroughs and all that stuff. So that is another part that I thought came out really, really cool, kind of separating those buildings. And then you make your way through this archway here, and the Cairo area actually has its own ride. So we've got the magic carpet ride over here. Pretty popular among guests. They love that little kids coaster, but they will definitely get over here and jump on that magic carpet ride. And then once you make your way through that area, you come to like a kind of like Namboa Square, like a really gritty South African type, type city with their different shops and stuff. And the train actually makes its way through here. And so yeah, really, really fun area on that. We've got some of the little train station buildings that I built for Beyond Drew and all that, kind of over here at the end where the train goes under. I thought that was fun. This was actually the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars type market that I built for Wow Man in his park, but that piece is very versatile. I really like using it when I can. This is kind of like the Lion's Peak type of coaster area over there. And I kind of took a little bit of cues from Planet Zoo. And we've got the glass enclosure here now to look out on the lions instead of just, kind of just having the rock or the moat separate you from them. So I thought that was really, really neat. And and you can get it kind of like from both sides. So the guests kind of coming by here on the train can watch the coaster go by there, or they can look over at the lions. You can get a lot of good looks from the train. So it's not just a lot of kind of like dead space where the train kind of just, disappears off into the woods for a certain amount of time. The train is actually, it's essentially a really good enclosure aspect type of ride in itself, and it kind of makes its way off into that tunnel there, kind of back. It circles around to the back side of Namboa Square, and gotta get some. I was thinking about getting some rides back here. The path is already set up for it, so that might be a neat little spot for another ride to kind of cap off that area. And then once you make your way through here, we've got another little ride. And down here is kind of like the Chimp Island. So you can kind of, no glass over here. You can kind of just lean up against this rock and kind of watch them do their thing. The only thing that I was thinking was cool with Azuri is, and I was thinking it'd be kind of easy to pull off here, but maybe do some kind of walkway across the island and have like a glass enclosure over here to where you could see the chimpanzees really close up, even on the island. So that is, I think that is something I'll definitely look into. And then we've got a set of lockers right there. And then once you make your way over to this area, you can see I've started the glass part of what's going to be the grizzly bear enclosure. And then of course we have our wolf pack down here that you look at them from above, except for this little area right here where I've kind of got it glassed off, kind of been working on it, where you can, we've got the speakers up and the lights, and you can kind of listen to some wolf facts and all that. And I thought that was really, really cool. They can kind of make their way up here, and you can kind of, get really up close and personal with the wolves from up there. And then of course, if not, you can always look down on them from kind of like these little these little upper vantage points. So, but yeah, guys, I think I have taken you through everything. I know even this was kind of quick, but I didn't want to keep you here an hour absolutely looking at every little detail. But like I said before, I think I'm getting ready to put the July version of this park on the workshop now, especially because your old version, the what I believe is the April version, does not have this whole entrance area like this. So I want you guys to be able to get in there and kind of fly around and you know, kind of see what this looks like for yourselves as well, and kind of just, you know, let me know what you think. And anyways, guys, yeah, let me know if you have any questions down below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you have any or you know, if you want to help out the channel. And like I mentioned, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. And yeah, thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you. See you guys.